and welcome to another episode of Sunday Musicians Café. I'm Pietro, an Italian violinist and founder of this podcast. I'm really very happy to do this new episode with my dear friend Zoe Barnett. She is not only a dear friend to me, but I appreciate her very much, both as an artist and as a person. She's a guitarist with an extraordinary technical and musical ability, and a person of great strength. And you will see why. I hope we are going to have a chance to chat about all her life as a guitarist, but also all how she went through difficult times with injuries, and in our life it's not always taken for granted that we can also play an instrument, right? So we do it with our body, so we have to take care of it. In the meanwhile, I would like to know, how are you guys? I hope you're all good. Thank you so much for following this project. If you are new here, a warm welcome. I hope you're enjoying the Sunday afternoon, by the way, like us here in London, with eventually, finally, a nice sun, which is going off and on all the time. So you'll see the light maybe changing a bit, but I'm really glad I'm taking some vitamin D. Here we're having the sunshine. That's it, you see? The sunshine is warming up our days very much. We had a couple of freezing days. I don't know where you're from, guys, but do please send in the chat where you're listening from. It's always very nice to see that this project is being followed all around the world, and I often receive messages from the United States, of course Europe, as I'm Italian, and I have a little fan base there. By the way, thank you so much for following, and I really appreciate all the efforts and all the messages that you're sending me, all the feedbacks. They are very helpful, and I love them. From Morocco, Adam, amazing. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate. So today we are going to have a chat with Zoe Barnett. As I was saying, she's not just a dear friend to me, but she's an incredible musician. Let alone the fact that she plays the guitar technically very well. So she has technical and musical, obviously, skills that are incredible. But also as a person is very inspiring, because she will tell us about how she went through the injury, how she coped with that, and it's always very inspiring to see other musicians coping with difficult moments. We are all driven by passion, and it's always very scary as well, this world, obviously, because uncertainty, during COVID time as well was one of the peak of uncertainty for everybody. But imagine for us musicians that we actually work, we make our living thanks to the fact that we play an instrument in front of other people. And for us, that was a very critical moment. And I know many people actually had a difficult, hard time, but also a very good time, because it was a moment for them to reflect on their job and to maybe reinvent themselves. I hope you're all spending a wonderful Saturday afternoon, enjoying maybe a day of rest after a long week at work, possibly. If you are new here, let me tell you very quickly what is all this about. It's a project I started last year by myself. I'm alone. Wait a second, I'm texting to Zoe to see if she is able to come to the chat. I think so. That's it. And so I was saying, sorry, it's a project I started by myself last year, and I really enjoyed all this wild ride, I would say. and today is episode 42, if I'm not mistaken. So I skipped a couple of weeks, but I'm really glad that today is Zoe, the guest. fun fact, she was the first guest of this project. So a really big thanks to her. I will say to her again how much I'm grateful for her to trust in me and to to support the project actively, being a guest and telling us her story and how she went through all the interesting things of her life. So I think she's just joined the chat, so we can invite her to have a wonderful chat together. Let me see if I can invite her. Yeah, amazing. How are you? All good?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Amazing. I was just saying I'm so grateful that you're supporting me being a guest.
Of course, of course. God, I can't even. That was a while ago, the first episode.
Yes. I think it was almost, for sure, more than a year because I started in May last year.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's it. I feel so bad, by the way, that the weather eventually is good in London.
It's fine. Well, it's so temperamental at the moment. Yesterday was awful.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand how to dress up, how to wear, what to wear.
You need a wetsuit,
that moment.
really.
Yes. I always wear a suit, that's true. But the problem, yes, I do. But it's always very dangerous because it's the moment of the year where you actually freeze in the shade, but you sweat so much in the sun.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like it's super nice. Like this side of my window, the other side is grey clouds.
Yes, the same. Actually, exactly the same. I have two windows here. One is facing the sun, and the other one is total grey. So I don't know what to believe in,
This is very British of you talking about the weather.
Yeah, actually, you're right. You think I'm changing too much? I should.
Maybe, who knows?
Amazing.
How much it rains, maybe.
What are you having? Tea or coffee?
Tea.
You see, this is not a tea.
Yeah, it's true. Do you like my mug?
Actually, that's very cute. I love it. I love it.
So funny. It was a birthday present.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. But that's so cute. That's so cute.
It's a flamingo.
Yeah, I can tell. I know. It could be a swan as well.
Yeah, it's true.
No, it's flamingo. Yeah, it has the how do you call it? The black tip of the
beak.
Beak. That's it. That's the word. Exactly. It should be a flamingo then. Listen, but I mean, again, I'm so grateful that I was saying that you were the first guest of the whole podcast. What do you think about the podcast? I would like to know about this from you. I think
it's great. You have so much variety whenever you do it, and the topics that you cover are like super broad. And I think there's something for everyone to pick up each episode, not just in like in an intensive way, which is kind of what we do, but also little tips and tricks in a more casual setting, which is super nice.
Yes, I mean the whole idea. I mean, to be fair, was the idea I had was exactly this, to show the whole variety that is in classical music, but in music industry in general, So that's why I didn't invite just classical musicians.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, of course, that's the majority of people I know. It's my world, obviously. And also I had to grow little by little, So I started with people that I met maybe in my life once, or good friends like you, But then I wanted to really to broaden the concept the most I could, because the reality is that sometimes we think that musicians, we have only like 2 or 3 paths, the traditional way, you become a soloist, you go. For us, it's very like orchestra, teaching, or solo playing. But it's not true. I mean, you can do so many other things. And at the same time, I wanted to, normalize the fact that you can do multiple things at the same time. Yeah. And that's not a taboo to not talk about. So many guests were like, solo players or musicians in general. They had their entrepreneurial side of their life,
social media content creation, projects not related to music, but somehow reusing their skills that they learned in music making. For example, HR, or customer service. Because we know how to deal with people in a way, no? And in a way, not everybody is good to talk to people, but definitely we understand the psychology of emotions, for example, behind the reaction of someone, So in a way, that was my idea. And also to answer that annoying question, how do musicians make a living? That I'm sure you've been asked so many times as well.
Very recently as well, considering the graduation recitals.
Right,
it's like,
right.
what's next all the time.
Yeah, no, but that's really annoying. By the way, how was it? I couldn't attend. I'm so sorry, but
fine. Yeah, it went well. I was really happy. I felt super connected in the performance because I don't know why. I think over the last few months I haven't been so connected in performing. So I was.
By connected, you mean like you felt you on the stage or like something like that?
Yeah, kind of just like mentally like clocked in. Over the last few months, I've just been like playing the notes and not kind of putting my whole self through the music. But because I just haven't felt that I had it in me to give that emotion. I don't know. And then maybe I wasn't quite connected to the maybe the venues or the projects that I was doing so much. But yeah, I was super happy to feel like that came back in a way. Maybe something in my head was like, right, you have to. It's like now or never, But it also was interesting because it felt like work. I felt like I was working.
Nice.
Rather than
I like this.
Yeah, rather than a performance where I'm like a bit less. I'm more like artistically going for it, more like a show. But yeah, the final recital was like I was super locked in, and I was like, I just need to get from the beginning to the end and stay present throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting because I usually speak as well. I usually introduce my pieces, but this time I was like, I'm just gonna go through it.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you touched a couple of things, and this last one is very interesting. I love it, and I kind of felt the same on my final recital in the sense that it was my artistic. It's not. I wouldn't say it was. I wish it could have been that the way you did. So like more working, like professional, no. But I was still feeling like I'm still assessed. So I'm still a student. But indeed, I felt like it was my artistic moment to show the way I wanted to play the pieces. Yeah? This is very true, and I like that. And I remember some things I decided to play in a certain way, specific pieces which are traditionally very rigid in a way, the way they teach it. And I decided deliberately to do things against or something. And I remember not everybody liked my interpretations, but I respect obviously because I knew it. I mean, I take the responsibility of it, and but I remember my professor was very proud, and he told me, "I like this guy."
That's really nice.
Yeah. But I remember it was like, I think my mom or someone related, very close to me, said, "Why you do this? You're so stupid. You just need a good grade." And I was like, "No, mom. I need to." I need to be myself, honestly.
Yeah, of course. And people see that, and I think people really appreciate that. And I think I also, as an individual, really appreciate seeing someone come on stage and own it in their own way. I find that really interesting, regardless of whether it's true to the music. Yeah. I just find it interesting to listen to. And interesting to watch.
Do you think think there is a way, actually, apart from growing up as a person, I guess?
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can actually speed up this process? And maybe, you know, like I never asked myself this, but maybe there is. What do you think?
I don't know, because you have to get to know yourself. It's like the whole thing where, like, as an artist, you are yourself, but also like the professional, and you can't escape the emotion through your work.
Right.
Otherwise, it's
Right.
not it's not so true.
Right. Right.
For me, it was, well, like the first episode where I spoke about my injury. That was basically like a click fingers, you have to do this now if you want to play. So that kind of pushed me forward in that physical sense. But I think emotionally and mentally, I don't know, I really do think it comes with time, and like understanding like your why and what you want to produce and what you want people to understand from your performance, and what you want to say.
Yes. I mean, this is the, I guess it's the goal of any artist, of every artist, is to try to find their true self, and then the way to communicate it, right? And it's always so difficult, and I still find it hard sometimes when we do that in the context of classical music, where rules are very important. And I'm a very big promoter of tradition, and you know, like the old style look at the things, you know, in general. I like that. I like that. But I know that to be happy, I need to go through all that creative process of trying to make it my own. And it's such a dichotomy inside myself. Always when I play Bach, for example. Bach is the untouchable by definition. But at the same time, is the one that at the end it gives you the more freedom. It's paradoxal, but I find it that way. So for me, Bach, when I'm alone at home, I rarely perform Bach in public because I find it very hard. Not because I would be not ready technically. I mean that's okay. Also, memory is okay. It's just I'm afraid of not being myself.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over the time where I have just to be assessed. So I'm not playing Bach because Bach. I think I need to be more mature. You know what I mean?
I mean, it stays with you, right? I just played the first cello suite, and it came together really late in the year, and it was really interesting because I felt like really underprepared, especially with the faster movements. But my fingers going.
I feel you. I feel you so much. I feel you.
But it's so fascinating. I haven't approached like a Bach suite in the whole time I've been at college, and the last time I did was maybe second year, and I just didn't have the mental capacity to understand really what I was playing, like the different lines. It was I was playing Prelude, Fugue, and Allegro, and I remember in the Fugue, I just didn't have the clarity of understanding what I was doing. But so this time when I reapproached it, something a little bit more simple, rather than the first piece that I played, it was super interesting to then really pick it apart, because I had to in quite a short amount of time, and like practice it, like all the different lines, and I had to know where each finger was going. And like usually that comes, you know, from September to maybe, like, I like to be up and running around Easter time. Like 2 weeks before my recital, and I was like, I don't have this off copy. The teacher was like, Zoe, these memory slips need to go, and I was like, but I don't know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fascinating. And then I've never found, like, I find Bach amazing because it feels like you're speaking, because it's so like pragmatic. So
true.
And I find, like, especially in the cellos, in the first cello suite, the prelude in the Allemande, is almost like one continuous line, almost through the two movements. So I love starting with that, because I feel like I'm portraying, I'm like speaking without words, which is like one of the things I love the most about music.
I totally agree on this last point. And talking about the suite number 1 of cello, actually, this raised a topic of which is very dear to me, you know, because it's so it's one of the first. No, I think it's the first. It's the first piece of Bach I've ever approached in my life, and I think I was around 11,
Wow.
12.
Yeah.
And my teacher in the conservatory in Italy was an old lady already when I arrived, was a baby, and she was very, very fond of Bach and Baroque in general. So she would give to kids a lot of things that were supposedly more difficult, you know, maybe technically no, but musically. And everybody had such a hard time because we wanted to play romantic music, you know, show off. Yes, and we were like, with no understand. I mean, why you force me to play Bach that I don't understand? And you know, but later on in the years I understood.
Yeah.
And it's so therapeutic for me to play that suite. It's therapy.
Yeah.
It's therapy. Every time I feel I'm depressed or I want to quit, you know, all the bad feelings, they come in waves sometimes. I take that suite, I play it for myself, and it touches my heart so much, because it's the first, I think the first piece I fell in love in a genuine way.
Really?
Like I was, yes, wow. I think I was forced to play it. So
Yeah.
I had to,
had
to, you know.
You have to find a way, even if you don't like a piece at first.
I think it wasn't more like it's not that I didn't like it, but I was not. I didn't have the tools to understand, you know. And so the fact that I was forced, in a way, to do it, yes, I went so deep in that emotion that I fell in love completely. And still today, that piece for me is therapeutic. There is a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine now, is in Germany. Is a double bass player. He plays the viola d'amore as well. The other, you know, like viola da gamba, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry, viola da gamba. And he has a tattoo on the arm, which is the minuet, the second minuet.
No way.
Yes.
That's amazing.
He made it when we were kids, and I remember for everybody that suite was therapy.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's the second minuet, obviously. I mean, you played it.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful tune.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It's 6 bars of just genuine genius approach of music. I mean, it's incredible. Yes. I mean, I don't know if for you there are any pieces that are therapy, but for me there are many.
Yeah, I felt super connected to my program last year, like the whole Suite Compostelana, which is by Federico Mompo, just completely took me the whole year. Like I felt just like taken by the music so much. Like the harmony is just absolutely stunning, and I think that was the first time where I really felt like really super immersed, because it's a really long piece. It's 6 movements, and it's like a good 20 minutes, I think. So performing it, and it's quite meditative throughout the movements, and I don't know. It's a long listen as the audience, but I think you just have. It's like, you know, you want to be meditating while listening to kind of like in your own world, and just kind of taken by it. So I always loved performing that.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. Listen, I have 2 questions for you. And one is regarding how because we talked about your injury last year, yes?
Yeah.
And my curiosity now is how you cope now with so more than talking about how you went through the injury, so you can obviously tell us a bit more about that. But I'm much more curious now on how you cope with the fear of getting injured again, which is interesting. I think it's interesting, no?
Yeah, that is interesting because I don't really think about that anymore.
Okay, that's nice. Good, lucky you.
Yeah, I'm like insanely lucky, and the situation that I had, I'm just very grateful that it was very straightforward. But now I don't really think about it. I know, I understand my body in a way where I know exactly what I can and can't do outside of playing, you know, just general life. And playing standing up keeps me from, you know, running the risk of moving back into that place. The only thing that I am worried about is like overplaying in a way that something else would happen. But I think because I've had so many niggles in my hands that I'm really used to individual pain, and I kind of know where it's coming from, because I think I've just kind of learned not to freak out, because a few years ago, if I felt, you know, the slightest bit of ongoing pain in my hands, I would have a breakdown basically. But I've learned that it's usually, it can just be like helped with a lot of stretching, and that the pain in my hands usually is coming from another area.
Okay, the neck.
Yeah, or like somewhere lower down.
Okay.
But yeah, I really don't feel.
No, but it's
like,
interesting because obviously, I guess one of the I mean, normally people, when you get injured, then you have to, you know, you have a trauma as well, right? And I mean, so I know athletes that they find difficult to train again because of the fear of getting injured again. So it's very psychological as well. Some psychological training you have to do. And how would you approach it? Again, the same way, or you think you should have done something like going to therapy or maybe going to physio before? I don't know. What would you suggest to someone that is in a similar situation?
Yeah, so I relied heavily on my clinic, which is amazing. In London, it's called SW7 Clinic or SW5 Clinic. I'm not sure. But they treat a lot of musicians, and that was something that I continued when I was coming out of my injury. But yeah, it was really interesting because the mental side actually kind of came to a point a year later. I think I was really wrapped up in like the trajectory that was finally kind of going on an incline in terms of like my physical playing, and the fact that I could actually play again, that I didn't, it was so fresh that I didn't mentally what do you call it, like process it at the time.
I see what
so
you mean.
Yeah, a few years later,
2 years then.
It's coming up to 3 years. Wow. I think. Which is crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, it took a few years for the mental side. It was almost like the disbelief that that it had happened. It was kind of like, I can't believe that happened, and that I got over it, and the fact that I'm very grateful that I got through that, because it was like really random.
I guess,
and like
I guess as well, you feel that it made you stronger players.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably said this in the first episode, but when I had 6 months off completely, I don't think I really did much music in the whole 6 months, not even like listening or anything. And then when I came back in September, I don't know, something had like kind of clicked. My ears had like, it was just good to have a break. My ears kind of picked up on, you know, on the music that I wanted to play in a completely different way. And it was really weird because something had just changed in the time off. And, you know, about
I
it with
guess
my teachers.
yes. It's like a breaking point. No, it's
Yeah.
like yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. No, it's very beautiful and inspiring. I mean, as I was saying in the introduction, very quickly. I mean, by the way, you just graduated from masters, so congratulations. I
Thank you.
forgot to say. I forgot to say. I'm really
No,
sorry. No, because we know each other, so
yeah.
somehow it was. I was thinking this is not the episode,
Yeah.
it's just a chat with you. But I should say this. But what I wanted to say is, I forgot. I think I forgot. Wait, you distracted me. Zoe, what? I mean, I'm dying to play with you, by the way.
Yes, we
Yes,
need to. I have
yes,
so
yes,
much free time now.
yes. Please don't run away. I really need to play violin and guitar so much. I had this in my head, in my mind for so long, and I really want to play some Paganini, some Piazzolla, some good stuff, good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah.
Fun, fun. What do you think it would be a good start?
I don't know. I really want to arrange.
Mm,
I think that's a string to my bow that I really need to work on.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
You like chamber music because I saw you playing Wigmore Hall, and
yeah,
by the way, she played in Wigmore Hall, guys. I mean,
with other people.
it's not no, yes, yes, but the good people.
Mm. Yeah, it
So,
was awesome.
yes, it was really good, and you clearly had so much fun. And I could tell
Oh, it's
I was making some videos as well, and I could tell she's the girl making having so much fun, you know. And
yeah.
it's so enjoyable to see musicians having fun. Sometimes, I mean, you know, my content, and I think I did a couple of videos where I was mocking like the teachers playing, and like with a sad, very angry face, and it was like, why? I mean, for me, it's very funny. So I like it the way you perform because you also you show very well what you're going through in the
Mhm.
emotion. So you also smiling and having fun. It's a good part of music. I mean, it's the best part, I guess.
Yeah, I find chamber hilarious, especially
Yes.
with that quartet and
Mm.
then so we had a guitar quartet and Katie Bunny was on saxophone. Um, and the rehearsals were just so funny, and it makes the whole journey so much like really special. And then when we played it at Wigmore, yeah, then the pressure's really on, and it's really interesting because then everyone's a little bit like more on edge and the
Yes.
adrenaline's up, and you're like, oh god, we're not just joking around in the practice room anymore.
Yes.
But yeah, I actually played that piece in my final recital.
Ah,
And
really? Ah,
yeah,
nice.
and we had we had like 2 rehearsals since Wigmore, and one of the rehearsals was just a run through. So
Okay.
yeah, it was funny because it went really well in my recital,
Oh,
and we had hardly
believe
any
you.
practice
I
time.
mean, already in Wigmore sounded great. I mean, how does it feel to play in Wigmore? Was you for you the first time, or you played already
Oh, it
once?
was the second
The
actually.
second.
So I
Okay.
played in the string showcase a few years ago
Mm.
in I think it was 2022 because it was quite new into my standing up career.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time I walked out onto the stage. Yeah, I couldn't believe the acoustics and the sound in there, especially for
Yes.
guitar.
It's
It
great.
just felt like you were being
Yeah.
lifted, and like everything. It felt like you were amplified, but in
I think the effect, actually, the acoustic effect,
yeah,
because of the
the
dome,
dome.
yeah, the dome,
Right. Yeah.
it's yes, it gives you the effect of being amplified, and it's very good. I never played, unfortunately. I was not selected for the string for the string showcase, but that's it. I mean, I accept all the decisions they make on me. Yes, yes. I don't take anything personal because it's otherwise I give them the satisfaction.
Mm.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There is a
Yeah.
question, I think. I never read the chat. I'm sorry, guys, but I should sometimes. So this is from Paul Tip Lady One, and he says, "Have you considered playing at King's Place in London? Ideal size for smaller ensembles.
King's
King's Place in London.
Place. Yeah, in
What is
King's
it?
Cross.
Ah,
It's it's a performance venue, but I think they there's also offices in the building, and they like, I think they might do some charity work in there.
Oh, really?
Might
Okay.
be, but
No, never been.
but I have played in one of the performance spaces in King's Place, but only one of the smaller rooms, which is sadly really not a good acoustic. I think it was, I can't remember what the room was called, but the hall one is amazing. Yeah, it's really, really great.
So Paul, she already played there, so she considered that, and she
well
did.
maybe one day I'll play hall one. That would be a dream, but
yes, maybe
I'll keep working.
No, of course.
Keep
Maybe we
practicing.
play together there.
Yeah.
No kidding. Listen, but listen, another thing of your life which is big and is becoming big for me as well, and I believe it's much bigger for you, is the social media, right? Would you like to tell us what's your relationship with social media? Is it good? Is it bad?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You
it's
like it?
Yeah, it's really interesting because it all happened 2 years ago, and I've spoken about this quite recently to quite a few friends, and just, you know, when the conversation topic comes up, but the content I used to post now is I used to post back in the day versus now is completely different. And it's really interesting now because I'm still posting what I used to post 2 years ago, but that's not popular anymore. So that's one of my goals, is to kind of find a way that I can produce content online that is true to me, but also like a bit more engaging.
Up to date, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm old school. I need to be like done with the kids now.
No, the reality.
I'm getting old.
No, but okay. So first of all, we are both very old, and we should go on TikTok if we want to do. But I'm not able to do.
TikTok scares me a lot.
I know. I don't use it. I'm not able to use it. I tried, honestly. I tried my best on TikTok. I have like 20 followers. So guys, please
I have like
follow
67.
TikTok. Yes, but horrible. I mean, it's like I'm embarrassed, honestly. I think I'm gonna delete the account. But anyway, the social media, I think you're right when you say that you have to find your own way to obviously be true to yourself, which is, I mean, you know perfectly that there are ways that you can make views without being true to yourself, and I mean, but we are deciding to be true to ourselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to find something that is engaging. My point of view on that, is experimenting.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is not to find the right thing immediately, because that's impossible, because the algorithm changes every week, every 2 weeks. I don't even care. You know, I don't care. Otherwise, I get mad. But the reality is that what works for sure is experimenting. So until you find the one, and my videos, there are some that they make 2,000 views, and others 500,000. And you're like, you see, I mean, I can tell why, yes, more or less. But you're never sure.
Yeah.
Like before posting, you are always doubting, like, maybe this doesn't work.
No, I know what you mean.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
But it's a lot of fun. I love watching your reels.
Thank you. No, but it's
what was the one that you just posted with the bow?
Yeah, I made it yesterday. Come on.
It was amazing. I was there like, actually. Hang on, is that like a new bow that's like?
So you want to see? So wait a second, stay there. This is so fun. I never done this in any episode.
Hello, everyone. Maybe I can take over Sunday Musician Café. Is this a? Oh, here we go.
No, I could listen to you. Listen. So first of all, I have two bows. One is cheaper, much cheaper, and the other one is more expensive. And the one I play with normally is the one more expensive. Yeah? So I took the other bow. So how it works, the violin, is that we have like a screw here at the bottom. If you unscrew it, the tension of the, yes, you lose them. Okay. So once you do this, then you can forget about the screw, and then just play, with this around the violin. And it's actually a technique. I mean, I didn't I didn't invent anything. I mean, it's first of all, I have to say that I knew this technique a long time ago. It's famous in our world because it's Joe Venuti. It's violinist, very dead now, but jazz violinist who invented this technique. Yeah. So to be able to play four strings at the same time.
Right.
So that's the goal. That's the goal. So you sound like an accordion and not a violin. But the intonation is so difficult because you don't have any tension, and you struggle to, because when we play, sorry, this is a bit technical, but I mean, for sure that double stops, yeah. So the pitch on the violin is relative. It's not tempered. So when we adjust intonation, is always two notes together, maximum 3 notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adjusting 4 notes together is almost impossible in the violin.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's almost impossible. So you can hear my struggle on the video as well. To be fair, I mean, I'm not lying. I mean, it's difficult to be in tune with when you adjust 4 notes at the same time. And also the position in chaconne is horrible.
It's crazy.
Yes, yeah. It's crazy. So that was the video.
No, I love it.
You liked it, yeah? I think there are indeed pieces of violin and guitar with that technique. Yes.
Oh, well, we need to do it then.
Yeah, maybe we need to do it. No, but it's actually, I injured myself almost. Eh?
Oh, okay. No, we can't do it then.
Honestly, yesterday I was feeling pain. I said, what is this? What is this coming from? No. And then I realized this stupid video.
Yeah. The things
what we do
for
what do we yeah, exactly, what do we do for social media? Listen, I know you're super busy and I would love to chat with you. It's so nice, and honestly, it's one of the best episodes I've ever done, because it's so, this is the idea of Sunday Musicians Café.
Yeah,
this is it.
Great.
Sometimes I feel it's a bit too formal, but as well, I mean, it's good to have variety,
Yeah, for sure.
And but only with good friends with you, I can have the best of the time, and then enjoy as well technically what we're talking, what we talked about performance and everything. I always ask this at the end of the question. I always say this. I make this mistake. I always I don't know why. It's like I stumble. So I always ask this at the end of the chat. What would you say to your youngest self?
Oh, trust yourself, for sure, because sometimes, or like back in the day, I think I'd second guess like all the work that I put in. So I think, yeah, for sure, just walking out on stage, just say to yourself, like, you've got this, you've put in the work, you can do it. Like now I say before I go on stage, like, I trust myself, I trust that I can do this, and then yeah, it's made a big mental difference in my memory work as well, because
I love it.
It's a brain game. It's fascinating.
I absolutely love it, and I think it's very precious, and especially today when we come out of COVID. So many young musicians, they've been through COVID in a very crucial moment of their life, and trust is such a, you hit a nerve there, because trust on themselves, trust on other people.
Yeah.
It was very important. It's very important. Thank you so much, Zoe, for this. Okay. It's really precious. Thank you. Okay, so I hope to see you in London.
Yes, for sure.
Very soon. Let's meet up and organize something. People, if you are in London or you're watching this from my account, follow her. because she's an incredible musician. I don't think this is the case. I think it's more the opposite, but but it's gonna be all right. But so I hope that we're gonna play together soon. Again, I have no words to explain how grateful I am for this chat that we had, the first episode,
Yeah.
and this one is so great. It's so great, and
Thank you for having me.
I really feel supported. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Always,
much.
always.
Have a good day. Ciao.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye.
Ciao. What a wonderful chat we had with Zoe. As you can tell, we are very good friends, and I think it is the first time in all the episodes I was showing my bow and everything, and doing these little jokes. I loved everything we said with Zoe. As you can tell, I appreciate her very much, not just as an artist, but as a person. She has a great strength, and she told us about her injury and how she went through it and how she coped with that now. And it's so inspiring to see that other musicians are really doing this out of passion and with so much effort put into it. Thank you so much for following. I really hope to see you in the next episode, and please stay updated and stay tuned for the next episode. They are going to be fantastic as usual. That's a bit of promoting for myself. But if you're new here, you're very welcome to follow me and to follow Zoe as well, obviously, and to stay tuned. So I'll see you next episode. Ciao.